Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
What percentage of UFOs sighted are actually our military ships, and how can you tell the difference?
I've heard at least 50% are our own craft. And unless they're triangular, you're not gonna know for sure who they are. I can't tell for sure who they are unless they're the triangular ships, the TR3s, 4s. But they come in different sizes. We have some of the carrier ships are longer. They almost look like a teardrop. And the TR3s and the TR4s and others either attach to the outside or they go inside the craft. I saw a photograph of a ship. This is cloud, and it was poking itself up out of a cloud like this, and the picture was taken from an aircraft. That's one of ours. That's one of our carrier ships. You can occasionally see those in the clouds, or they're in the atmosphere and they surround themselves with a cloud. Also, if you go to WSO or Skywatchers, what's his name, Matt Rogers, these kids are doing a lot of amazing work, posting videos and photographs that people are taking from all over the planet. And there are areas where there's absolute cloud cover, and then there's a triangular spot opening in the clouds, looks just like that. Well, that's one of our ships, cloaked there. That's obvious, okay? You'll see all kinds of things like that. Now, talking about that, on WSO, he seems like a very interesting young man. He has on there an interview that he did with an amateur astronomer who goes by the handle of Crow 777, CRROW 777. And he has up there the sun we see and the sun we don't see. He was able to reconfigure his telescope in the optical into the infrared range. You need to see that. You need to see that. You need to see the sun we see, and then behind it, the one we don't see. Because the Vatican telescope in Arizona is looking exactly at the same thing. And what's interesting is that the infrared apparatus that's on the telescope that the Vatican has in Arizona, I think it's Mount Graham, they call that apparatus Lucifer. And they're using their telescope with the Lucifer apparatus watching the sun we don't see. It's worth a look, okay? It's absolutely worth a look. The interview's about an hour. You can, if you pull it up on YouTube and you just go to the point where he shows you the photographs and the footage of the video of him moving the telescope back and forth between the two suns, I think it'll be very enlightening for you. You know, it'll give you a firm grasp of what's going on, really going on here, because there's a lot going on. As I've tried to share with you, there's a lot going on. But, you know, I'm just one voice in the wilderness. There's a few of us, but, you know,
I'm grateful for all you do, Alex. The races that are assisting us risk making this standoff with the reptilians any worse by helping us. Why don't the reptilians just dispatch more troops to Earth?
My understanding is that the majority of the reptilian races in our galaxy and outside our galaxy, they're pretty tired and worn out with war as well, and they are rethinking who and what they are. That's not the group that's been here and that's been on the run for hundreds of thousands of years. This group has been rogue and alienated from many of the reptilian civilizations in our galaxy. They're pirates. For lack of for you know, the best example or definition I can give you, they're a pirate. They rob from everybody. They steal from everybody. They enslave everybody. They don't care because they're pirates. You understand? It's not like they're part of a civilization that has a cause. They're not. You know, they're just pirates. And there was a window that was created here where humanity was completely unprotected because the Pleiadians didn't keep their word. And that window was there, and that's how this group got in here. And we've been paying for it ever since. So I'm not saying that the Pleiadian civilizations are bad. It's not what I'm saying. They have their own issues. They've had their own growing experiences. They've had their own maturity challenges like every other race in the galaxy has had. But they let down their guard, or our guard, and you know, Murphy's Law, there was someone there to slip in, and they bore in like a tick, okay? They bore in like a tick, and now we're trying to extract the ticks. And it isn't easy. It's not easy. But it's going to happen. I have absolutely every belief it's going to happen. And I know, and I feel this with everything that I know I am, and that I know that this is going to be a really good ending. This is going to have a very, very happy ending. It's just going through the process. It's learning patience. It's learning discernment. And, in a way, the way this is all playing out, it gives humanity really a chance to learn to stand on its own 2 feet, to be able to grasp some of these concepts that, 50 years ago we thought would have been absolutely ludicrous. It's interesting. For thousands of years, everybody believed in a devil and the supernatural powers and the dark powers of the devil, and et cetera, et cetera. But and it's interesting, they refuse to believe that, well, okay, he exists, but why couldn't extraterrestrials exist? Or could they in fact be one and the same? In some Christian circles, they refuse to even accept the fact that they could be one and the same. And those who do, they gravitate, well, all ETs are devils or dark spirits, and that's just horseshit. It's just absolute rubbish. And that the witchcraft and the energy, the technology, so as we take ourselves out of the dark ages and we begin to open and see things with a very different perspective, we gain a clarity about how the universe works, how frequencies work, how the planet works, how the dimensions work. And that gives us time to learn how to navigate the information that's coming to us now. It's been a process. If they were to dump it on us all at once, most of us would be overwhelmed in a heartbeat and would just shut down. We wouldn't get any of it. And then we repulse in fear, and then we put ourselves into a victim space, which is the last place we want to be. The last place we want to be. So, I guess it all depends on how you look at it. I see all this as a blessing in the end, and I will. So, I wouldn't worry too much about the reptilians. They're doing everything they can to hide, to stay hidden. Okay, because they're being hunted and they know it. So this is probably their best behavior right now, because they know they're being hunted, and they don't want to draw any attention to themselves. It's inevitable anyway. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a good question. Thank you.
If Morone is from the future and they're 50,000 years more advanced than us, how much more advanced are the Zenetaens than us at the present time? Also, which decade will we be living in technologically if the Roswell incident had never happened?
Okay. You dropped out, but let me just see if I have the gist of it. How different would our future be if the Roswell incident didn't happen? Is that the gist of the question?
Yes, but also, if Morone is from the future and they're 50,000 years more advanced than we are, how much more advanced are the Zenetaens than us at the present time? I.e. their past.
Or how much more advanced are the Zenetaens? I don't know that I can answer that question. A number like 50,000, difference in years, how we count a year and how they count a year. So does that mean that they're less advanced, or does that mean they're actually 100,000 years more? Now, what's interesting, for such an advanced civilization, they as little as possible. Yeah. Okay, they don't rely on technology. Obviously, if they're traveling through space in their arcs, in their motherships, that technology needs to be working because those are living habitats. That's understandable. Grow food. They have their own orchards where they grow this fruit, which they can use for tablets, so that those who travel and do work outside the ship use for nutrition. They work their own orchards like a farmer does here. That do it. They do it themselves. Okay? So they stay in touch with their basic humanity, and that is an agrarian society. They stay in touch with that. They keep every effort to make sure that everyone goes to school for at least 150 years our time, okay? And they learn all the arts, and they are all hands-on. Here's a few videos. Here you go. Here's your degree. It is not like that at all. It is all hands-on. You work it. You work every aspect of it. And they're just so real. They're just so damn real. There's no facade. There's no bullshit about them. You know? If you screw up, they tell you in a nice way. They tell you. If you're doing something wrong, they let you know. Nice way, but they explain how it should be done. Okay? And how your perspective, how you should look at your tasks in a different way. Okay? So they guide, they mentor, and they just don't do it to themselves, they do it to each other. And everybody gets that. Everybody wants to be on the same page. That doesn't mean there isn't individuality, because there is. But their first thought is to look out for each other. It isn't, I'm just going to look out. That is not their first thought. In fact, that's probably their last thought, if they have it at all. Their first thought is always to look out for each other. Now, as far as Roswell, how do we know that wasn't meant to happen? How do we know that that did not purposely set us on our course where we are now? How do we know that? How do we know if it didn't happen then, it wouldn't have happened someplace else? We know that those, the Vatican in the catacombs has ruins, has all kinds of partnerships that were found in the desert by the Crusades. We know this. They just haven't told the rest of humanity about it. Okay, we know about the ruins in Africa that the Anunnaki used to have and live. We know about the legends. The Nazis were by extraterrestrials. The Tibetans, the Sumerians, the Chaldeans, they had regular exchanges and visitations with extraterrestrials. It's in all their literature. Okay? Just because we hear now mythology at all. Okay? So there is a guiding hand regulating the entire universe. and all the dimensions thereof. Some call it creator, some call it isness, some call it God, some call it Holy Spirit, some call it other things. But we're all talking about the same thing. There is a presence that is guiding all things in each universe and the dimension. We're connected to that, whatever that is. It looks ugly. There are some days I damn sure don't. I know that, but I know I can't chicken out. You know what I'm saying? It's too late for me. Even though there are moments, I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. There are definitely moments. But where does my strength come from? It comes from Source. And as long as I can remember to remember that, as long as I can remember to, I'm good, you know? I'm good. So, to answer Lauren's question, I don't think this would have happened any other way. I really don't. But if the old saying is true that, you know, trees don't grow strong, it's the elements that cause it to grow strong and be strong. When we're done with this, 90% of us are going to be oaks. We're going to all be oak trees. There'll be very few weeping willows.
Some time ago, you mentioned that we as humans had reached 28%, and in defending sacred ground, the A's said they needed 10%. So, how come they haven't intervened? Or do we need to be more specific? Or gather as one, for example, in one day?
Okay. Who says they haven't intervened? Who says they're not intervening all the time? Who says all the other star nations that are here aren't, in fact, intervening? That's an assumption, that they haven't intervened yet. It's a huge assumption. They are intervening all the time, but they're not going to park a starship over Greece or Scotland or New York City and freak everybody the hell out. Okay, there has to be a very gradual acknowledgement of life. You see, it's easy for us because we know, we understand what's going on. But we are still, even at 28%, a very small portion of the world's population. Most people are still extremely fearful of just about everything and extremely paranoid. You can't light that fuse because how are you going to put that back in the bottle once you light it off? You can't. So what you have to do is you have to expand that 28% far more gradually or quicker that's a better way of putting it. You need to expand the 28 to 35, to 45, to 55, to 65, to the point where it's, whether you've seen a ship or not, it's common knowledge that they're real. So that when you do see one, you have a recognition that it's already a reality. Most of the population is not there yet. They're just not. I mean, even here in the United States, look at the fear and paranoia that's been created by the media. It's appalling, absolutely appalling. And I can't speak for what's happening in Europe, but I would assume it's probably not all that different. The fear, the propaganda, the fear porn that's created every single day, the economy, it's going to collapse for this reason or that reason. The world's going to end. We're in the end times. This nonsense is put out there every single minute of every single day somewhere on the earth. The only ones who aren't getting it are those who are working in rice paddies or working in fields in the Himalayas or the Peruvian mountains. They're not listening to this nonsense, okay? They're doing their thing. They're taking care of their families. They're in a family unit. So there is tons of intervention going on, and I've been saying that for 81 webinars. So don't assume that they haven't done anything. You just haven't seen it. Or if you have seen it, you don't know how to acknowledge it, or you don't know what their intervention has looked like and where it's been. I can honestly tell you from my perspective, back in 91 when I started to talk to today, it is absolutely remarkable how far we've come. It's been amazing, literally be amazing. And I know if you talk to Dave Icke, he'd probably tell you the exact same thing. He'd probably also tell you we're not far enough yet. And I would absolutely agree with him. But when he started, Bill Cooper, there was a group of us that, we did all the dog and pony shows together. And all we had was each other, because the crowds were small, but the hostility was great. Just amazing. So we've come a long way, but like I said earlier, there's the prize. Can we open it? And it's not time yet. None of this is happening fast enough for us. And I absolutely am on board with that. This is not fast enough for me. But it is what it is. It's not a race. It's a destination for everyone, or as many as possible. And that's all we can do, That's all we can do. But, like I've also said, it gives us time to work on our stuff, to keep honing and polishing ourselves and to go within. And, many of us are wanderers and are searching out here when in fact the discovery is what's inside. There are still some of us learning that.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.